Those visuals took him back just a couple of hours is our Minister of Sport and Recreation. He joins us now because on Sunday the country celebrated a podium full of South Africans at the Comrades Marathon when it comes to the men's race, and a brand new men's down run record thanks to David Gatebe. It was double joy as South Africa's Charne Bosman won her first Comrades Marathon. Joining us now, not only do we have a couple of the gold medalists as well as our two champions, but we've also got our Minister of Sport and Recreation. Minister, I said that you are one of the most hard-working ministers. You had just come from the PSL Awards last night.
Yeah, that is sports. It's not an old age home, you know. So the athletes are keeping us busy, and they are doing very well for South Africa. This weekend, I think at the Comrades Marathon, for once it was colorful. I mean, Charne and David and the rest of the other compatriots made us very, very, very proud. So that's why we are here this morning as government to say you do well, you display excellence, not mediocrity. You'll be celebrated by your people. It is an honor and privilege which come once in a lifetime to stand next to your compatriots and say, job well done.
Minister, why was it important for you to come here this morning, and a little bit later on you're going to be handing over gold medallions as well as checks as reward to these athletes for a race which is an ultra marathon? We don't get to compete in ultra marathons on a global stage looking at like the Olympic Games or World Championships, but this is something that's extremely important to South Africa, isn't it?
It has been important, and always. Comrades Marathon is the biggest ultra marathon in the whole world, and in particular in the African continent. And you've got foreign nationals who come here and compete. And David Gatebe this year broke the record, which was held by the Russians. And they did very well, and Charne did very well, and all other athletes, Ludwig, Bongimusa, and so on. The reason why we are here is because SABC is the people's platform. And when we celebrate and give hope to our people through sport, and when these athletes ascend to podiums, raising the flag, they must know that they're doing this country proud. And we're not going to do that in a small shack in a corner. We do it in the #1 public platform in the African continent. Let Africa knows South Africa has arrived. And let them also know that for what they have achieved is worth it for South Africans.
It was amazing to be there. I was at the finish line in Durban, and the energy that was there, it almost took us back to that feeling that all of South Africa had during the World Cup back in 2010, where there was just a feeling of elation, and that's the beauty of sport, isn't it?
Yes, they say, you know, if you are a believer in sport, and this is what we advocate for, I don't know, I still have to run a Comrades Marathon.
Are you going to, Minister?
Well, I don't want to make pronouncements first, so I need to start training like yesterday for Comrades Marathon. That's what they say, the athletes. So congratulations to all South Africans. They say you must run once, a Comrades Marathon. The mayor of Ekurhuleni, Mondli Gungubele, got his 7th medal of the Comrades Marathon. So if Mondli Gungubele, the old man, can get 7 medals, why can't I did it? If he did it, why can't I did it? So I must run a Comrades Marathon. I've got no choice. I did the Cape Agas, I must do the Comrades Marathon.
Have you been getting some tips then from the athletes?
Well, I get some tips every day and so on, and they also gave me some tips. They told me they train in Makhoba's Kloof, wherever in Limpopo. They train in the mountains, these people. But if I want to be #1, I think I'm going to train in Mount Kilimanjaro. And then I'm going to beat all of them in their records. But I must run Comrades Marathon. Personal fulfillment, but equally to walk the talk. They say run a Comrades Marathon once, and I think I must do it. I mean, I'm inspired by youngsters like Kabelo, you know, Tsululi Jaga, the now new CEO of Boxing South Africa. So all these youngsters around me, I mean, Romeo Khumalo.
So the pressure's on, Minister.
It's not pressure for Razzmatazz. I just need time.
You just need time.
I don't have time. You see, I was PSL this morning. I'm here. I need time and the golf and all of that. With time, I'll make it.
I think the only time you're going to get time is if you were shifted maybe to another portfolio, because you are
I don't
kept
want
very,
to be
very
shifted.
busy.
Please, President, don't shift me. And the ANC, I'm happy here.
Minister, I want to speak about something else now, more serious matters, because just a couple of weeks ago we had your pronouncement handing down bans on a federation that is implicated today, and that's athletics. Athletics, netball, cricket, as well as rugby, because they weren't living up to their transformation targets. When are you going to reassess those bans?
The bans will be reassessed in the year under review. But that doesn't affect the contracts that they've entered into before we impose the bans, which means next year when we meet again in March and we see progress made, we will reconsider the decision in terms of the bans. But the bans is just a list of penalties that we have, and in that list of penalties, that is the list. I know some people criticize me for that, but they will be happy after 20 years for what this country would have achieved. I know for a fact that these federations are not alone in achieving the required targets that we're supposed to achieve, but something that they can achieve the least for what they've set for themselves. They must meet those targets. It's not me who set those targets. I said 60-40. So they must come back to me, and they came back to me and said, no, we can reach these targets, and they failed in those targets that they set for themselves. So I can't all the time be saying, no, go meet the targets and all of that. We've got to move, and they understand that. So my aim is not to, kill sport. Is to build sport by ensuring that we meet our targets and take the country forward.
Before we get on to the prize giving, just your thoughts on having seen the Springbok team that was announced by Coach Alistair Coetzee for the Irish test.
I'm ecstatic. I've always known that this country is full of talent, and that talent will be expressed when we meet Ireland and beyond, and give the coach a chance to express himself and put all his plans, into test, and give the youngsters a lot of support. I'm a big fan of the Springboks, and I'm happy with the announcement of the squad, and I think we're still faced with challenges, but I'm happy with the efforts rugby is beginning to put on the question of transformation going forward. Big up to Alistair Coetzee and the team, and best of luck to them as we continue to strive to be the best against New Zealand and the rest in the field of rugby.
Lovely stuff. That's our Minister of Sport and Recreation, and he's going to be involved in handing over checks from the ministry, as well as some magnificent golden medallions to our gold medalists that have joined us this morning in studio. But let's